and I'll
My favorite
get your
thing, the
response.
clips. Let's watch it.
Yes, let's watch.
It's hard to be accountable for things that you're saying in a passionate moment.
There are other members of our family that are high risk too. I don't know if it's my place to say it.
You won't believe the tea we're spilling today. From secret breakups to shocking lies, this is Unreal Tea. Hit subscribe before the drama starts. Welcome, everyone. What if I told you that the very empire Kody and Robyn Brown struggled so hard to defend is actually crumbling from within? And no, it's not a divorce or a family feud. This time, it's the IRS. That's right. The U.S. government might literally be knocking on the Browns' door. Because reportedly, behind closed doors, Kody and Robyn's money is not only messy, but possibly even dangerous. And if the rumors turn out to be true, this investigation may bring it all to a close for good. Consider this. $2 million in secret assets. Courtroom pandemonium over off-book accounts. The binder Christine Brown dropped in court. And today, fresh reports indicate that the IRS, yes, the Internal Revenue Service, has begun posing the types of questions Kody never desired to respond to. Is this the scandal that will finally reveal the Brown family's deepest financial secrets? Could Kody and Robyn lose everything? The mansion, the show money, the empire? All due to unpaid taxes, secret business transactions, and questionable cash flow. And before you think about this being just another rumor, do you recall? Courts already froze millions of dollars associated with Kody and Robyn earlier this year. Judges questioned their financial integrity. And fans spotted multiple red flags in Robyn's online business dealings. Now, if the IRS is involved, we're no longer talking about reality TV drama. We're talking federal law, penalties, asset seizures, maybe even criminal charges. So buckle up, because in this video, we're breaking down everything. From Christine's binder bombshell to Janelle's subtle revelations. From TLC's covert contracts to Robyn's so-called tax loopholes. We'll get to the bottom of why the IRS may have Kody and Robyn dead in their sights. And I assure you, once you look at the numbers, the evidence, and how the puzzle pieces fall into place, you'll never view Sister Wives the same way again. Christine's binder and courtroom freeze to realize why the IRS could possibly be going around Kody and Robyn these days. We must rewind to that infamous binder incident. Christine Brown left the courtroom, and fans everywhere reeling when she entered clutching a fat binder. In it, suspected financial documents, hidden accounts, and evidence of money Kody had been transferring. For years, sources close to the family say Christine had been secretly monitoring Kody's finances. And when the time finally arrived, she was prepared to make that proof work. That's when judges allegedly froze millions of dollars belonging to Kody and Robyn. Consider this for a moment. A judge does not freeze assets for sport. It means they observed sufficient evidence to be concerned about fraud, secret accounts, or tax evasion. And who gets to investigate when millions of questionable dollars are involved? The IRS. Robyn's online businesses and tax loopholes now. Let's discuss Robyn Brown, because her online businesses have been raising eyebrows for years. From My Sister Wives closet, which went out of business, to smaller businesses in Robyn's name. Followers have noted irregular filings, abrupt closures, and tax returns that don't balance. Some of these operations were under Kody's name, some Robyn's, some their kids'. Why? Experts believe it may be a time-worn strategy. Funneling funds into several names and entities so regulators are left scratching heads. That's where it gets complicated. Robyn and Kody were siphoning TLC profits through personal companies, but not even reporting every dollar correctly. That's a red flag. And the IRS doesn't overlook red flags. They send notices. They audit. And if they find evidence of underreporting, penalties can be catastrophic. What the IRS seeks out. So what would the IRS really be looking into here? They'd be looking for three things. Unreported income. Did Kody and Robyn conceal TLC checks or business income? Fraudulent deductions? Did they deduct personal expenses as business deductions? Asset transfers. Did they transfer money into hidden accounts to evade taxes? And don't forget, the Browns are not an ordinary family. They've been reality TV personalities for more than a decade, earning millions. Every dollar is supposed to be accounted for. The IRS discovers even a portion of those dollars were hidden. The penalties alone could wipe them out. Family fallout, but it doesn't end financially with Kody and Robyn. Christine, Kay, Janelle, and Meri could all be pulled into the fray. Why? Because of common bank accounts and joint filing of their taxes. Christine has already revealed accounting. Records, Janelle confessed she couldn't get her fair amount of the family's money. And Meri? She's been going quietly out of her way to create distance between herself and Kody. But if her name appears on past filings, she might be caught up in the IRS glare too. It's not all about the money, it's about trust. Think about how betrayed these women must feel, first cheated at love, now potentially bound up in Kody's money secrets. If the IRS goes through with it, it could tear open some old wounds in ways no divorce ever could. TLC's role and risk, and let's also not forget about the elephant in the room. It's TLC. If IRS investigators determine Kody and Robyn did something wrong with their sister wives' earnings, the network might be in trouble as well. Why? Because TLC pays talent directly and they anticipate taxes being filed properly. If that money was laundered through dirty businesses, TLC might have PR catastrophe. And what does a network do when there's a scandal that gets too hot to handle? They cancel. The IRS hammer. What's at stake? So what's the worst that could happen if the IRS verifies wrongdoing? The Browns might have to pay staggering back taxes, crushing penalties, as much as double what they owe. Seizure of assets, yes, even their $900,000 mansion. And in worst-case scenarios, criminal charges? Could Kody Brown really go to prison? Experts weigh in. It's unlikely, but it can't be ruled out. And if investigators find that fraud was deliberate, not careless paperwork, then Kody and Robyn's empire could crumble overnight. The children speak the worst part. The kids. A lot of Kody's children have already come out against his favoritism and love of money. Just imagine how they will feel if their dad brings the whole family name into an IRS scandal. It's been heartbreaking. Things about his dad, Peden's frustrated outbursts, and even the silence from Robyn's children, it all makes a picture of an already broken family. An IRS scandal might be the nail in the coffin. So here's the question that keeps fans up at night. Is this just speculation? Or is the IRS already knocking on Kody and Robyn's door? Seen the binders? We've seen the frozen accounts. We've heard the whispers about online businesses and secret money. If half of this is true, Kody and Robyn might be in for the fight of their lives, not in a courtroom full of ex-wives, but in a federal probe that doesn't forget, doesn't forgive, and doesn't leave a single dollar behind. And in our next deep dive, we'll explore the shocking IRS cases of other reality TV stars, and why Kody and Robyn's case could be the most explosive of them all. The first IRS letter. Every IRS story begins with something deceptively simple. A letter. Not a flashy raid, not an arrest. Just a white envelope that lands in the mailbox. Fans are wondering if Kody and Robyn have already received one of those awful letters. A notice of discrepancy. It's the IRS saying, hey, something's off. Clarify, the letters might seem innocuous, but the reality, they're a shot across the bow. 'Cause by the time the IRS sends the first letter, they've already viewed numbers that don't balance. Kody and Robyn's lifestyle, the mansion, the luxury SUVs, the designer wardrobes, doesn't exactly fit the chaos of their crumbling businesses. And when you ignore that first letter, the IRS doesn't just go away, they dig deeper. It keeps receipts, they wait until they've got you trapped. Kody's denial strategy. Kody Brown has one strategy in life. Denial. When Meri begged for attention, he denied her loneliness. When Christine insisted on respect, he denied her pain. When fans accused him of playing favorites, He denied it. But denial does not work with the IRS. You can't talk your way out. You can't cry your way out. Kate, gaslight the federal auditors. And if Kody's response to previous courtroom wars is any indication, he is already digging himself an even deeper hole, screaming at attorneys, fighting with judges, rejecting financial records. Think about how that conduct plays out in front of IRS agents who have no use for excuses. Robyn's behind-the-scenes role fans see Robyn as the quiet, crying one. But behind the scenes, it's been Robyn who has been the mastermind. She arranged to set up companies. She managed family finances. She's the one who wanted to purchase the Flagstaff mansion. And here's where it gets creepy. If there's any nefarious financial paperwork, it could quite possibly be missing Kody's signature altogether. It could have Robyn's. IRS investigators do know this much. The person who keeps the books is usually the one who has the most control. Robyn might not only be Kody's favorite wife, but she might be the key to the whole financial scandal. Christine's revenge. Christine Brown's binder was more than a divorce tool. Some fans think it was a loaded gun, evidence painstakingly compiled over years. Bank statements, property deeds, business records. Christine might have built a path to the IRS without knowing it. Just think about how satisfying she must feel. Now, Kody dominated the finances, kept her in the dark, and minimized her worries for years. And now, the very records she kept might be what takes him down. Janelle's silent records. Janelle Brown isn't flashy. She's not loud. But she's always been clever about money. She managed property, land investments, and paperwork the others didn't dare touch. If detectives call, Janelle might have the most accurate records. Not Christine's emotional binder, not Robyn's suspicious files, but Janelle's quiet, meticulous notes. Her loyalty has been tested before. Will she cover for Kody again, or will she finally choose truth over silence? Meri's distance. Meri has been trying to distance herself from the Brown chaos. New ventures, new friends, new independence. But here's the catch. IRS investigations go back years. If Meri's name appears on old joint filings, she doesn't get to walk away. She may be dragged back into this storm against her will. Imagine Meri sitting in a deposition room, forced to explain income she never controlled. The very husband who neglected her could now ruin her financially. The mansion question. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Robyn and Kody's $900,000. Flagstaff mansion. How do they pre-qualify for that mortgage? Public documents reveal their businesses were in trouble. TLC checks were being bounced. In several households, somehow, they managed to get the loan. Financial analysts and fans ask themselves, did they inflate income? Did they conceal debts? Or did they misstate taxes in order to present themselves as stable when they weren't? If the IRS does find fraud in that application, it's not merely a tax issue, it's mortgage fraud. And that has even graver penalties. Business entity maze. The Browns have opened and shut dozens of businesses. Some were good for months, others years. My sister wife's closet, Robyn's internet jewelry business. Kody Brown Family Entertainment LLC. Property companies connected to Janelle and Christine. But see, this is what IRS agents adore. Patterns such as this, several companies, all linked, all transferring money around. Was it for a good reason? Or was it a labyrinth to confound regulators? The more tangled the web, the more it appears sinister. TLC's payments. TLC pays its stars in bulk payments, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars for each season. That's what's supposed to be declared as income. But suppose Kody invested TLC dollars in other ventures, dividing it into separate accounts or calling it business expenses to save on taxes. Then every dollar is a liability. Then TLC, whether they want to or not, could find themselves dragged into the disaster as the payer. It's the kids' inheritance. The children already feel abandoned. Now their future may be stolen too. An IRS case could destroy college savings, inheritance, and savings. Consider Garrison, who desired autonomy but fought with his dad about finances. Consider Michael T. Pedden and the hundreds of others who got swept up in the aftermath. For them, this is not a scandal, it's livelihood. The fans as detectives, here's where it gets interesting. Fans themselves might have initiated this probe. Sister Wives fans have monitored property deeds, seen tax liens, and contrasted business filings. Whole TikTok profiles are committed to revealing the Browns' finances. When the fans get to be detectives, they leave a trail detectives can't ignore. Red flags in public records, Arizona public records, paint a peculiar tale. Properties purchased between family members, sudden refinance of property and mortgages jostled around. Were these harmless maneuvers? Or tries to sweep money under the rug before debts caught up? IRS penalties translated: the IRS has two punishment levels: errors and fraud. Errors equals interest and late charges. Agony, but liveable. Fraud equals fines of up to 75% of the underreported figure. If Kody and Robyn underreported as little as $500,000, penalties alone could tack on almost $400,000. That amount of debt can destroy anyone, even reality stars. The celebrity tax curse celebrities sometimes believe they're invincible. Wesley Snipes, Teresa Giudice, scores of athletes all came tumbling down to the IRS. Why? Because being famous does not shield you. Actually, it makes a larger target. The Browns possibly forgot that. Robyn's shopping habits, Robyn's own spending habits have been criticized for years. Designer wardrobes, high-end furnishings, new vehicles. If authorities connect those shopping sprees to off-the-books business profits, all those shopping binges become evidence. All those receipts become nails in the coffin. Kody's anger, Kody's temper has cost him before, shouting at Christine, belittling Janelle, teasing Meri, but in front of federal investigators. That doesn't intimidate anyone. It just makes him appear guilty. Will Kody's pride be the very thing that drowns him? Janelle's loyalty test. Janelle has long danced the fine line of independence and loyalty. If investigators subpoena her records, she is faced with a harsh decision. Defend Kody or defend herself, eh? And for the first time in 40 years, she might just do the latter. Christine's victory lap for Christine, the scandal, might taste like justice. Years of financial domination, years of being brushed off, now becoming Kody's downfall. In interviews, Christine has hinted at money being one of the darkest parts of her marriage. She's finally free. But Kody, he may be shackled by the very system he thought he controlled. Meri's chance to walk away while the storm gathers. Over Flagstaff, one person quietly steps out of the rain. Meri, for years, she carried the weight of a family brand that rarely protected her. Now, with whispers of audits and subpoenas swirling, Meri sees a door cracked open. Freedom isn't loud. It's a signature on new paperwork, a move into a space that's hers alone, and a refusal to co-sign anyone else's mistakes. If asked about old filings, she stays calm. I'll cooperate and I'll protect myself. That's not betrayal. Survival. And for the first time, the story that previously defined her, Kody's first, is overshadowed by something greater. Meri first. Exit strategy. When distance becomes protection, Robyn under fire, public perception shifts quickly. Robyn, once positioned as the emotional center, now basks in the brightest light. Not because she cried, but because people think she orchestrated. Fans cite business registrations, shipping addresses, purchase orders, threads that appear to lead back to her desk. Fair or not, optics count. If your name is on the ledgers, auditors might begin with you. And Robyn discovers the first rule of scrutiny. Even good intentions appear intentional when money and glory are at stake. Comment: is Robyn a strategist or a scapegoat? The day of audit, imagine a silent conference room. No lights, no cameras. Just files, computers, and two auditors who don't give a rat's behind about ratings. An audit is not a raid. It's a chat with receipts. Rule 1, respond to what's asked, nothing else. Rule 2, document or it never occurred. Kody's charm collides with the impenetrable wall of spreadsheets. Robyn's neat responses collide with follow-ups she didn't anticipate. The timing of deposits, the identification of expenses, the mileage records. Each piece of information is a window into another question. Audit scope expands when answers shrink. The kids speak out, even in a notional audit situation. Adult children sometimes get called. Did you get gifts? Who paid for whom? These are not betrayals. These are clarifications. And it leaves the children in a no-win position, obeying parents, being truthful, and protecting their own futures. Some will stay silent, some will vent on social media. Some will secretly supply the loan receipt that closes a year-old loop. In families, truth bounces around. In audits, it comes to rest neatly in a folder. TLC's camera silence networks. Prepare for everything except federal paperwork. TLC gets the math, cameras down until smoke of legality clears. Silence isn't complicity, it's policy. Executives query, what's verifiable? What's risky? Storylines shift to safer ground. Archival retrospectives or spin-offs, 'cause a brand lives by not fighting battles it can't script. The threat of seizure in extreme tax outcomes. Agencies can file liens or, in exceptional cases, seize assets. That does not occur overnight. It adheres to process, notices, and appeals. But the concept of it's seeing a cherished property become an itemized expense kind of terrifies anyone. Whether or not that is a day comes, the fear alone is enough to divide a family. Hold on to the house at any cost. Or abandon it to safeguard what remains. Christine's warning to fans in lives and interviews. Christine had a tendency to stress dignity, boundaries, and balance. Without calling out names, she reminds fans, financial control isn't love. Transparency is. She won't dunk on anyone that's not her brand. But she lets a message ring out. Trust, then verify, and keep your own copies. Lower third, receipts are self-care. Social media explodes. The algorithm smells drama and delivers. TikTok breakdowns of filings, Reddit timelines, YouTube think pieces, some brilliant, some reckless. Public pressure doesn't decide cases, but it does frame reputations. In a world where the crowd becomes the chorus, silence sings the loudest note. Pin this: responsible speculation does not equal defamation. Cite sources, use disclaimers. The IRS doesn't forget. Here's the unglamorous truth. Tax issues age like stone. Interest accrues. Penalties compound. Payment plans exist. Appeals exist. But time rarely turns enemies into friends. The most intelligent thing to do in any disagreement is the simplest document. Disclose and deal with it before it develops teeth. Robyn's tears, there's no crying foul or fair. There's crying pressure. Robyn cried whenever the stakes were personal. This would be personal. An auditor won't judge tears, only totals. But the audience will judge everything. That's the bitter trait of celebrity reality. Privacy for notoriety, silence for gossip. Kody's next move: when charm isn't working, Kody turns to reinvention. Fresh projects, fresh stories, fresh indignation. But reinvention takes capital and clear books. Budget. The jump he has to make now is smaller and more difficult. Call wise advisors, take boundaries, restore trust. Empires aren't only lost on paper, they're lost in ego. Family fallout, round 2 Act 1, fallout destroyed marriages. Act 2 fallout hangs over sibling relationships. Money wounds seep like ink in water. Some children say, we're finished. Others say, how can we assist? Forgiveness comes in various languages. None speak audit. Christine's book sales soar. Scandal draws eyeballs and book sales. Christine's memoir spikes once more. Not because she brags, but because readers search for context. The irony. The woman who walked away might be the one who benefits most legitimately by sharing a tale of reclaiming her life. Winning without dragging the IRS clock ticks in any drawn-out conflict. Deadlines are destiny. Reply by X date. Create Y documents. Miss a milestone and you lose your bargaining power. Even the finest defense can perish through lack of attention. The clock is the most unforgiving examiner of them all. Media circus. Once a story breaks out of the blogs and reaches morning television, it's no longer rumor, it's a segment. Never before seen. Pundits who never even saw the show will now have opinions. Media cycles don't validate facts. They amplify angles. Manage the angle, or the angle manages you. Kody's excuses when cornered. Kody's vocabulary expands, misunderstood, targeted, set up, complicated. But explanations aren't evidence. The strongest statement is dull and deadly. We're cooperating. We'll resolve it. Anything else feeds a fire that doesn't need more wood. Robyn's public image collapse, fairly or not. The public's patience for Robyn thins. Sympathy shifts from tears to receipts. Influence is a credit line. Scandals max it out. The road back isn't reactivity. It's reflection. Less speeches, more form, less defenses, more papers. The children's future, broken college plans. Weddings, first houses. The quiet moments made safer by money now seem tenuous. The children make budgets, defer dreams, and vow to one another that they will be different. Resilience resembles a side hustle, a scholarship application essay, a car that lasts 5 additional years. It's not glamorous. It's how families weather storms they didn't create. TLC cancellation countdown networks don't cancel out of spite. They cancel out of risk. Insurance, legal risk, advertiser jitters. Those are the real producers. If a show is ended, it won't be a judgment on truth. It'll be a judgment on cost. The IRS court date, if disagreements escalate, appearances occur. Like, not a TV trial, a docket. Counsel talking in paragraphs, not sound bites. This is where details defeat drama. Statute citations, precedent, math. Win or lose, everyone leaves a little smaller and a lot clearer. Could jail time happen? Criminal tax cases are rare and usually involve willful, egregious behavior. Most cases resolve with civil assessments, payment arrangements, or settlements. Speculation sells, but accuracy calms. The most likely route is paperwork, not prison. Nevertheless, the strain can come to feel such as a sentence. The ultimate downfall, perhaps, the empire doesn't blow. Perhaps it rots. 200 tiny compromises, 100 unchallenged assumptions, 10 lost deadlines. Downfall is quietly often. And occasionally, which is the lesson, if you won't reconcile the books of your life, the world will reconcile them for you. So where does this stop? With a lien or a lesson? With a cancellation or a comeback? Families break apart. Families mend. Audits open, audits close. All that we are sure of is the one that we have power over. How honest we are when nobody sees coming right up. Celebrity reality TV tax cases. The real story? What punishments looked like? And what any producer can take away from their errors. This family's drama is far from over, so smash LIKE if you're #TeamWives. Subscribe for the next explosive update and drop a comment below. Who do you think will win? Stay shady, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next scandal. Behind TLC Sister Wives out.